I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Yeah, it does, Bill, like everything. Hey, kiddos, welcome in. It's another edition of the Daily Puck Drop. It is Wednesday, January 28th. We got a lot to cover. There's a lot going on this Wednesday as we still gear up for the Super Bowl, which gets underway, of course, all the full coverage of it next week. We got a real clickbait article column that we need to discuss. Is this the best Seahawks team ever? Patriots schedule. We're going to go through it in the bloody trenches with Rob Staton and Inside Pitch with Ryan Divish. And I've got Inside Pitch with Ryan Divish twice, so maybe I should check. He's not coming on twice. He's only coming on once. Trust me, the last thing on the rundown should be, hey, what the puck, all right? We'll get to that, but you'll get a snippet of Divish today because it's a Wednesday. And for all you posse members, you get a full-on Ryan Divish 2 weeks away from the start of Major League Baseball. But before that, we got Seahawks to talk about. We got your article to discuss. Jesus Christ.
What I get a kick out of is that you called it clickbait.
Clickbait.
Okay. Now, here's the thing about clickbait real quick. Like, I know you want to get to Limback Lumber and your sponsors and, tell everyone to spend $5, so you can hear Ryan Divish and all that shit. You always do that. Okay. But everybody, since the beginning of time when we've written stories, if we're writers, or even if you have a website, you write something that you hope people will read. And so if you want to call it clickbait, that's what you're hoping for, is that people will read what you wrote. Okay?
I know. I'm just making fun of it. I get a laugh when people say
but I'm just going to
clickbait.
defend myself. I mean, that's the thing. Like, sometimes I do go out of my way, like, okay, well, this will get a lot of clicks and page
clickbait.
views.
You want people to read the story. That's the point of it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So don't call it clickbait. It's not the best story I ever wrote. And so just to take the listeners behind the curtain, before we went on the air today,
where does it rank? Where does it rank of like the worst one?
You ripped me, though. You ripped me for writing that. Best Seahawks team ever. Clickbait. Yeah. All right. And then lo and behold, I look at your headlines and you've got best Seahawks team ever. And you want to talk about that right off the bat? How about Rick Rizz? How about Rick Rizz retiring?
How about I want to mock the column. That's what I want to talk about.
Rick Rizz retiring is a bigger deal than any bullshit.
I know there's too much stuff to get to. We got Rizz retiring. We've got freaking Bill Belichick getting blackballed by the NFL. I mean,
how much does that have to do with him having the young girlfriend?
Oh, I
think it's a factor. I think it's a factor.
Really? Oh, wow. Okay. I think it's more about the Spygate and all that other stuff. But I don't know. We'll get into all of it. Of course, Limback Lumber right behind me. You're watching the stream, proud sponsor of the Daily Puck Drop and Puck Sports. They are your number one trusted lumber source, local. 1930, they've been doing business. Think about that. We're 4 years away from their being in business for 100 years. Big thanks to Paul and the whole crew over there at Limback Lumber. If you're in the area, in and around Seattle, even outside of Seattle, come on down to Ballard. Go visit Limback Lumber. You'll walk in, and it is an absolute sports shrine inside Limback Lumber. It's one of those places where they keep like old artifacts of everything that's ever happened in Seattle sports, old newspaper clippings and headlines and all of that. It's great. And they got great hats and T-shirts to buy in there as well. 206-782-3487. They keep all their receipts and documents on paper, not computers anymore. That's how cool they are. You can visit them at limbacklumber.com. Visit me on social media, Puck Sports everywhere, except I don't think we're going to promote TikTok anymore. I think TikTok's done. But
is it?
I think so. I think it's officially over.
What happened?
It's been bought by you know who Larry Ellison is?
Was he the owner?
Oracle guy, yeah, and he owns like all of media now. They're basically they're basically destroying it, is what they're doing, is Larry Ellison. So, but we still are there right now, Puck_sports. And pucksports.com. Sign up to become a Puck's Posse member for just $5 a month. You get Ryan Divish today. Yesterday, you got the sports bit with Stretch. You can hear him talking about why he was on the field for the NFC Championship game. And then coming up tomorrow, KJ Arntz with Mitch Levy. But we are graced with the presence on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. God, I'm seeing your girl Kimberly Martin again today.
I told you about Kimberly Martin.
But I'm just
she's
talking,
the best.
But today in particular.
What is it about today in particular?
I don't know. It's this whatever outfit she's got on today. It's kind of that mocha brown skirt she's got on. Looks like it's been painted on her, for God's sakes.
Okay.
That was her.
Okay, listen, it's 2026, right? I mean, this is stuff you could be talking about in the 70s and get away with it.
I'm sorry, I find her like you. I find her attractive. I see what you're getting at.
You know what blows me away is that when I was a columnist at the PI, that for about 3 or 4 years, I was able to write Seattle's sexiest sports personalities at top 10 list.
We can do it on
you
here.
can't get with that anymore. It's just,
we can do it here. We can do whatever.
Okay. All right. Puck, I'm brought to you by Brad Brotherton. Did you know that? Brotherton Cadillac and Shoreline, Brotherton Cadillac and GMC, and Buick, too, in Renton. And they emphasize a no-pressure, stress-free environment there at Brotherton Auto. And with Brotherton Choice Vehicles, you'll get a complimentary first oil change and tire protection to boot, wide selection of personalized financing and leasing plans to suit the needs of families like yours. Visit one of their locations in Shoreline or Renton or at brothertonauto.com. My thanks to Matt Baker at the Angry Beaver in Greenwood. You can catch the Kraken, the Red Hot Kraken. Who was it last night? Jared McCann had a huge game against somebody. Yeah. They're going to play the Maple Leafs. I think it's cool that the Toronto Maple Leafs are coming to town. You can catch all the action. The Angry Beaver at 6:30. Get there early for happy hour, 4 to 6. The Angry Beaver in Greenwood. Free shots at Jägermeister if you mention pucksports.com. Where
do you want to start first?
Well, not about what I wrote. I don't think, once I got into it, and the premise was, is this the best Seahawks team ever? The 2025 Seahawks.
I'll change the headline for you then. Go ahead.
And I think we can all admit that, no, the 2013 Seahawks are the best Seahawks team ever. But does this team have a chance to be equal to that team by winning the Super Bowl? Would you consider them better if they win in convincing fashion over the Patriots? Or would they still be a little notch below what that team did in 2013?
Yeah, you can go read it. It's up at the Tacoma News Tribune, newstribune.com. Also, I think it's up on Jim Moore, the go-to guy.substack.com as well.
Yeah, I posted it today there.
So it's up there as well. I mean, I get what you were getting at. I mean, I understand the premise of the piece. They've got to have to go out and really just lay it to New England to be, to me, in the same conversation as 13.
But even at that,
we've got to understand how dominant that team was. That's a generational team.
Yeah, that's one of those things. And sometimes you get story ideas or column ideas, and then you go, yeah, that'd be a good one. And then you get into it and you go, well, wait a minute. I don't think, even if they beat New England 55-0, I still think you'd have to put that 2013 team ahead of them, because what they did to Peyton Manning and the Broncos, I forgot. I knew Peyton Manning was really good that year. He threw for over 5,000 yards and 55 touchdowns, and he couldn't do a damn thing in the Super Bowl.
They were unworldly. They were the number one offense. They still are the greatest offense ever. And they just obliterated them. That
2013 defense, Matt Stafford is a Hall of Famer. He's great. We all know that. One of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen. But he wouldn't be going up and down the field on that 2013 defense like he did on the 2025 defense.
Just think you have to. To me, I think it's of what I've witnessed in Super Bowls, it's still the most impressive victory ever in Super Bowl history. It far outweighs what the Ravens did in 2001. I think it was 01 against the Giants. They played Kerry Collins, and they won 38-7. It's way more dominant than that. It's way more dominant than what the Bears did in 85 against Steve Grogan and the Patriots. Not even remotely the same offense.
But that Bears defense is recognized as probably being better than the Legion of Boom defense.
Probably, but they didn't have a better performance in the Super Bowl than the Seahawks.
No.
There is no debate. I don't care. Usually there is a kind of a back and forth, and there probably should be, but I'm going to end it. There's no debate what the greatest defensive performance in Super Bowl history is. There's none. There's no way you can sit there, even if you are a Bears fan or a Ravens fan, and sit there and talk to anybody in Seattle and go, yeah, but I mean, we were better. Okay, fine. We can have an argument of maybe who was the better defense. I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing what was the best defensive performance in the history of the Super Bowl. And it is a clear-cut runaway number one of what they did. Clear-cut.
Well, especially given what that offense was doing in Denver that year, no one could stop them.
Just not even close. All right. Go read it. Newstribune.com. Jim Moore, Clickbait Moore makes his case for the 2025 Seahawks.
You're still upset about that Ozempic crack that I made.
Oh, I thought it was
so
funny.
You're firing back, aren't you?
Oh, it was funny. I made a clip yesterday. Put it out on a clip. Did you see the clip? It was very funny. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I like shots. I like shots of myself. All right, let's start with Rizz first, all right? And then we'll get to Belichick. I do want to get to the Patriots schedule, but we will get to Belichick as well, because there's a guy on Twitter that came up with the Patriots schedule. I don't know if you've seen it, and it's unbelievable. When you go through their schedule real quickly, and I'll go through it, and you'll be like, oh, my God, I'm going to put about $1 million on the Seahawks next week. All right. Man, he is I'm going to have something in this on Hey, What the Puck, but I'll just say, and I talked a lot about Rizz with Divish early this morning. I'm 50 years old, just turned 50. For 40 years of my baseball fandom, this guy's been on my radio calling games. He is a great broadcaster. I've told this to you and others, the audience. I prefer to listen to the games on the radio rather than watch them. That's how I like to do it. I will, in fact, sit in my house and listen now on my phone or just go outside rather than watch the games.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a fantastic broadcaster. He paints it. He tells great stories. He's so positive. As great of a broadcaster that he is a better human being. He's the nicest person I think I have ever met in my entire life, Rick Rizz. So it's sad to see it kind of come to an end. I'm glad we get one more year out of it. I hope it ends in a World Series. He deserves it. The team deserves it. People that have worked there forever deserve it, but he deserves it. That man has called 40 years, and I would say 95% of it has been bad baseball. Okay? I mean, bad baseball. And I want to see him go out on a high note. But, tip of the cap, as they say in baseball, to Rick Rizz.
No, I'd echo everything that you say there, Puck, because Rizz, just a tremendous guy, tremendous announcer, play-by-play guy, and he's Mariner baseball. He really is Mariner baseball. The thing that struck me, though, is that with a guy like him, I was caught way off guard on this. I don't know if you heard any rumblings about Rizz getting ready to retire. I know he's 72, so it's an age, but I just figured that maybe he would be one of those guys you'd have to yank out of the press box someday. That he'd be doing it until he was 80. And so to me, it was shocking news yesterday. I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
All those kind of things. But, and then I will admit that we all slow down as we get a little older. And I don't think he's lost anything off his fastball, but
I know
it sounds like he's going to do all the home games and then be selective on the road games this year.
72. Think about it.
Yeah, I know. I do. I'm 4 years away.
I know you're close to 72. The amount of traveling. Think about and I know they're flying charter and all that. I get it. You're flying all the time. You're away from
shorten the flight time.
No, and you're in hotel rooms. Literally starting next week. He is doing Mariners baseball, hopefully until the end of October. That's his life now for, the next several months. It's just a long thing, a long grind. And he's been at it again with the Mariners for 40 years, but 50 plus years he's been at it. In the first few years where you're in minor league baseball, you're on buses and driving around. And, I hope, that he has a great last year. He's just no one loves the game more than that guy. No one loves calling spring training games more than him. He puts the same amount of effort into a spring training game that he puts into Game 7 of the ALCS. just the way he is.
Yeah, I've told this story before, but if anybody's out there who hasn't heard it, one of the different times that you have regrets when you write things, and Rick Rizz is at the top of the list for me because he always thinks it's a beautiful day at the ballpark. And we know that about Rick Rizz. Oh my God, welcome to Safeco Field. Welcome to T-Mobile Park. It's a beautiful day at the ballpark.
Buddy. Hey, buddy.
And so one day I thought, Jesus Christ, it's raining today. It's cold. It sucks out. In his mind, it's a beautiful day at the ballpark. But I kind of poked fun at him a little bit in one of the columns I wrote at the PI. I happened to run into him the next day. And it was down in the hallway outside the clubhouse. And he walked by me. I walked by him, and he comes up to me and goes, Jimmy. I go, yeah. He goes, what do you want me to say? It was a beautiful day at the ballpark yesterday. I felt this tall.
Yeah.
This tall.
And
I apologized to him. And I thought to myself later, God, what a jackass I am to say something like that about Rick Rizz, because to him, even if it's 20 degrees at the ballpark, it's still a beautiful day because he appreciates what he's doing. It's his job. And the other thing, Puck, you know what I get a kick out of? And I'm I'm probably being hypocritical after what I just said because I was being critical of Rick Rizz there. But I read the Seattle Times story that Divish wrote about it today. Yeah. This is a time when someone retires or at a funeral, you never say bad things about the person. You read the comments. It's like, there's still some people that are going, okay, well, all right, well, he was okay. But, that's not the time to be doing that. And I know we're not supposed to tell fans how to fan and all that shit. But this is a time I'm going to say that to fans. Just honor the guy. Let him have his moment, I mean, it's just.
But that's not a reflection on people like that their immediate reaction is to text somebody and say, oh, good riddance, or thank God, or leave a comment. That's not a commentary on Rick Rizz. That's a commentary on their life because they are miserable. And so because they are miserable, they want to, instead of projecting why they are mad at themselves or hate their life, they want to just put it out on somebody else. That's why. So
maybe this is rich coming from me because I'm, quick to point a finger and criticize and it's stuff I write, but it's not the time to be critical of someone, is it? It's just like at somebody's funeral, do you get up there and go, yeah, you know what? God, I'm glad he's gone because he was kind of a jackass. I know he, contributed to charity and everything, but
I'm sure there's going to be people going to say that about you. So
no, you can go ahead and say it to your buddies at the dive bar, but save it for anyway.
Well, I'm
happy for the guy. I'm really happy for him.
Can't wait to get him on and talk. We'll get him on at some point, talk to him and just, I love it. I love always talking to him right when spring training starts. And he just has this, Divish painted a great picture when I talked to him this morning about you go down to spring training, he's on those back fields. If you've ever been there, they're great, where all the minor league guys play. And he's always out there with his little pen and pad and his cup of coffee. He's always walking around and he's just talking he knows all of these players.
Well, and what's great too, Puck, is that when people come up to him, he always has the time of day for people who come up to him. He probably gets recognized everywhere he goes. Down in Issaquah, he's always getting recognized. He lives up in I think Lahani or something, and so, but he always will stop. He would always, every time I saw him, he had a chance meeting with my mom, and he'll say, "Hey, Jimmy, how's your mom doing?" He knows that she's a big Mariners fan. He's an incredible guy, an incredible guy.
And so they also announced really no changes to their broadcast team. They also announced that in the story today in the Seattle Times. So Goldsmith is back doing TV. Angie's back doing the analysis. You also have Ryan Rowland-Smith. Hopefully that's okay with people in town that the Australian is back. Or are we going to
person in town?
Is that one person in town going to make fun of him again? Or I don't know, how's that going to work? Hopefully it's okay. And then Gary Hill. I mean, here's as happy and sad that I'm to see Rizz go, to see what happens after this year. I would hope it opens the door bigger for my buddy Gary Hill, guy that we went to school together in the famed Edward R. Murrow School of Communications. So,
well, I ran a little poll on Twitter yesterday, and most people are voting for Gary Hill to take over for Rick Rizz. Although, Puck, explain what's going to be happening this year as far as the radio broadcast and TV broadcast? Because isn't it going to be different? I heard somebody mention about a simulcast. I'm out on simulcast.
Oh, I don't know about
TV, radio, simulcast. I'm out.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that, and I would not want to do that because radio and TV is just so different. So different. I don't know. Divish, I asked Divish about it this morning. He doesn't really know. He thinks maybe an announcement comes out today or tomorrow. Maybe, they want to get out before the Super Bowl what they're going to do with their TV. Like, how's it going to look? Like, where are you going to get it? What's the streaming package going to be for people who don't have Comcast or Fubo? So I think something's going to come out on that one. Radio-wise, I don't know. I assume it's just the same kind of thing that they've done with, Rizz doing the majority of the games, Gary filling in, and then, Goldsmith sometimes flies over there and does a little bit, but we'll see.
Boy, 2027, though, if you could have, for me anyway, if you could have the ideal broadcast booth, it'd be Gary and Aaron. And I know Aaron's doing more TV now. Those guys really have such good camaraderie and chemistry that I think that'd be a fantastic tandem if they put those two guys together.
They're really, really good together. They've got great chemistry and banter. They always do the pregame stuff on the radio together, and it's really good. Really, really witty and fun, and it makes for a fun listen. All right. Belichick, how about this?
Yeah. It's nuts.
I mean, unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, he just gets he's out. I mean, how does someone who has the resume of Bill Belichick get blackballed by this league? How? What are the
explanations? I saw Sando had a bunch of explanations, and I kind of read through them. What is it? Is it because they feel like Brady was more responsible for winning those Super Bowls? Is it the young girlfriend?
I don't
know. Is it Deflategate? What could it be? I
mean, he needed 80% on the 50-person committee. So what is it? 11 people didn't vote for him. ESPN is reporting that it's Bill Polian. That Bill Polian told voters that he should wait a year because of the Spygate in 2007.
Oh, well,
that's the reason. The reason is that because of Spygate, that Polian went around and convinced these other people to not vote for him because of Spygate. And there's Bill Polian. Why is Bill Polian have so much say? This is the same jackass, Bill Polian. And here we are defending Bill Belichick for a second, because here's the deal. He did cheat. I mean, Belichick did cheat. And maybe this is the only thing he got caught for, but he did cheat in Spygate, got caught for it, paid a fine, lost draft picks. I don't know how much this helped him in other games. Maybe he was doing something else. This is the same Bill Polian who said Lamar Jackson should play wide receiver. Remember that?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Wide receiver. How'd that go over, Bill? I mean, come on. He's 17 division titles, 9 AFC championships, 6 Super Bowl championships with the Patriots, 2 more as the coordinator with the Giants, by the way, as a defensive coordinator under Parcells. I mean, he should be dunk. This guy's a slam dunk Hall of Famer.
No, there shouldn't even be a conversation about this. It should be a day. And we all the whole Belichick to North Carolina thing, just forget about that. Just focus on what he did there at New England. And it's crazy that he's not in. I can't, how I am. I listen to all the yelling shows, all these guys. There's not one single person that's saying, yeah, I can see why he wasn't first ballot. There's no one who's saying that, because that's not the case.
You should have unanimous and Ichiro not being a unanimous Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to do a clickbait story, just write something about he's one of the best coaches of all time. And if you went into the Hall of Fame right now and you looked at some of the coaches that are in there, you'd be looking at it going, well, how in the hell did so-and-so get in there when Belichick couldn't get it on the first ballot?
And isn't Dungy on this list too? So was Dungy then also one of these people that didn't vote for him, like Bill Polian? Is Dungy on there or not? Or maybe I misspeak. I could be misspeaking on this one. No, Tony Dungy is. If it comes out that Bill Polian, who now says, I can't remember if I didn't vote for him, But now the ESPN's coming out saying that he was leading the charge, that he should wait a year. If Tony Dungy is one of those people that didn't vote, I know they can't kick him out. And I'm not saying they should kick him out, but they should be dragged publicly through the streets for that. Hell, I can make an argument.
Kick him off the Sunday night broadcast.
I can make an argument that Tony Dungy shouldn't even be in the Hall of Fame. For God's sake.
You could.
I said I can make an argument that he shouldn't even be there. Yeah. He certainly shouldn't be there over Mike Holmgren, I'll tell you that. No way.
Bill Belichick, with what he's accomplished, I mean, you look at what? George Halas, Vince Lombardi. I mean, you go through the history of time, and he should be top 10, if not top 5, all-time best coaches ever.
Well, I mean, honestly, is he not the best head coach of all time or not? I mean, I guess that is for a debate, but
what are you thinking if you're him? I mean, knowing him as we do, and we don't know him at all, but I bet you he's just taking it in stride.
No,
or just saying, how would you take it?
I'd be hurt. I'd be bothered.
I would be too.
I'd be really hurt.
Would you be like, screw the Hall of Fame? I don't even care if you put my name in there. In fact, I don't want my name in there anymore. I'm not sure how I'd act, but
I think part of that, I think initially, sure, I'd be like, you know what? I don't need it. People know what my resume is. I don't need to be recognized. But then I think that would, as the anger would subside, I think I'd be like, okay, I mean, eventually I'll accept it and go in. But yeah, I think in the beginning, I'd be hurt, bothered. Like, what are we doing here? What I mean, I paid my fine. You know, I got punished. I didn't have anything to do with
the draft picks.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just think it's really, like, I heard someone say this. It is Bill Simmons, I think, said this. I think whatever, or somebody else on Twitter, whatever the Hall of Fame voters who didn't vote for him by sending a message thought it would do, like they thought the bad guy would be Bill Belichick and they would be the stewards who stood up for the game. They're the ones who look petty and who look awful right now, are those individuals. And this is all Hall of Fame stuff. Like, this is why it drives me crazy. And baseball does a good job for most of them reveal their picks now. There's still some that don't. Like the guy whoever didn't vote for Griffey, we still don't know who that is. Still don't know that one person who thought Ken Griffey Jr. was not a Hall of Famer. They should all the NFL one's even more. It's even more of a secret how they do it, but they should make it all reveal them. I think those 11 people that didn't vote for him should reveal it today, so the other 39 people in there don't have to sit there and have people trash them. Because I mean, we know all the names. I mean, I can go through all the names.
Well, Puck, when you have Condotta on Fridays, right?
Yeah, he is not one of them. Our good friend Eric Williams, remember EW, former News Tribune writer, covered the Seahawks, now works for Sports Illustrated. He's one of the voters.
Okay. Well, it'd be interesting to talk to him. Or if, when you have Condotta on Friday, just say, hey, Bob, from a writer's perspective, I know that you didn't vote per se, but what could it have been? And maybe he'd have an idea since he knows all those guys. Because it's hard to. I honestly feel like the young girlfriend had something to do with it. They just it sounds crazy, and I'm probably off base like I normally am. But I think that the perception of him has changed so much from when he was in New England and having all that success to what he's become now, and what a joke it is at North Carolina.
And here's what's bad about it is because this now pushes Holmgren out again, because he was not the coach finalist this year. It was Belichick, so Belichick's going to be the pick next year. So Holmgren's going to have to wait another year. And if he ever gets in, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know the holdup with Mike Holmgren. I really do not understand it. Someone has got to explain. I hope that
they're not so short-sighted on that they, take so long that Holmgren's not with us anymore. He's 75. God, let the man have some glory while he's still here, and enjoy being in the Hall of Fame where he deserves to be.
I agreed. Definitely should be in the Hall of Fame. All right. I want to get to the I can change the rundown if you want. I want to get to the Patriots schedule here in just a quick second, because there's a guy, Brandon Anderson, on Twitter that went through their schedule. It is great. The way he writes this, when you read it, You're going to laugh and go, give me the Seahawks like minus 13. Anyways, you'll appreciate this. Speaking of prop bets coming out next week, the most bet under prop bet at BetMGM, maybe you've seen this, is the under on Seahawks running back Kenneth Walker's rushing yards. Opened at 78.5. It has now dropped to 73.5. 96% of the bets and are on it. 98% of the money is on the under.
Why?
Under 73.5.
Why would that be?
Patriots have got a dominating defense.
I know their defense is good, but don't you lean toward the over in that? Walker's total was 87 against the Rams. I know he had 62, so he didn't cover, but still, he's the feature back. I mean, when Holani's out there, they're not going to hand it off to him very much. So
let's see. Well, that's off. I want defense. Give me a second. I want to look at what the Patriots were giving up on defense of this year, rushing wise. Let's see. No, I want regular season. Give me regular season, sir. Let's see. The Seahawks were third at 91.9. Patriots were 101.7. So 6th in the NFL in rushing yards.
Okay. I still think that I think the underbettors are going to be out to lunch on that one, but we'll find out.
Okay, you like it. All right, I'm going to go through this Patriots schedule for you, all right? This was put on Twitter. Have you seen this?
I have not.
This was put on Twitter by Brandon Anderson. Let me see if I can I'll put up on the screen so you can just kind of look for it yourself. Because I think when you see it, it's just kind of remarkable that when he goes through it and puts their schedule in kind of context, okay? So he goes through their schedule. Here's what it is. Week 1, these are the teams they played. Coach fired, Las Vegas. Week 2, coach fired, Miami. Week 3, you can say Tomlin stepped down or was fired. Week 4, played Carolina, NFC South team, 8-9. Week 5, Buffalo, fired coach. Week 6, NFC South, New Orleans, terrible. Week 7, Tennessee, fired coach. Week 8, Cleveland, fired coach. Week 9, Atlanta, fired coach. Week 10, Tampa Bay, NFC South did beat Seattle. Week 11, Jets team that went 3-14. Week 12, Bengals team that went 6-11. Week 13, Giants, fired coach. Week 15, Buffalo, fired coach. Week 16, Baltimore, fired coach. Week 17, Jets again. Week 18, Dolphins, who fired their coach.
Wow.
Think about that. I mean, when I saw that this morning, I'm like, I knew what their schedule was like. We all saw it, strength of schedule. Just look at what they've gone through and compare it to what Seattle has gone through. It's not even close. Not even close.
The Seahawks had to play the Niners and the Rams 3 times this year.
Yeah. 2 of the, those teams would throttle the Patriots. So I don't know if it makes you feel any better. I know it's just one game and anything can happen in one game and the ball can bounce weird and maybe Vrabel will cheat like Belichick did back in the day. I don't know, but
God, that seems pretty generous though. I know the line opened at 3.5, then it went to 5.5 and now it's 4.5 in favor of the Seahawks. That looks, but be careful. Those too good to be true lines usually are.
I don't know, man. I don't know how you can't just roll right now at 4.5. That is just too. I know you're going to tell me they know something we don't know. You're probably right. That's 4.5. Just seems like a freaking lottery ticket.
I agree, Puck. I'm with you. And I know that you were thinking that last week it was the Super Bowl and that it's going to be Super Bowl in name only this week compared to facing the Rams. But
okay.
Yeah, it's a scary one. It's a scary one.
You want to be careful. All right. Last thing for you. And you know what? Our next guest should be worried because because he's a Ryder Cup hero and Rob Staton and his team Europe can go pound sand. Patrick fucking Reed is back. Thank God.
Is he playing this week?
He's
Torrey Pines?
No, he's back. He's back on the tour.
Oh, he's back on the tour?
He's back on the tour, baby. He's back. He made the announcement today on a post. After careful thought and consideration, my family and I have decided that I will no longer compete on the Live Golf Tour. I'm excited to announce I'm returning to the PGA Tour as a past champion member for the 2027 season, and I'm eligible to begin competing on the tour later this year. I will continue to compete and play as many honorary lifetime member on the DP World Tour, which is something I'm truly honored and excited to do. I'm a traditionalist at heart, and I was born to play in the PGA Tour. I am very fortunate for the opportunities that have come my way and grateful for the life I've created. I'm moving forward in my career. I look forward to competing on the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour. I want to thank everyone involved for helping me make this decision. Yada, yada, yada. To Dustin Johnson, the Aces, and Live Golf, I want to thank you for the memories that we shared and created together. The rats are jumping off the ship.
All right, why are you so excited about Patrick Reed coming back? Because he's not a well-liked guy. Do you like the villain part of it coming back to the tour?
Yes, every sports needs villains. And I like rooting against him. I like when he kind of cheats. Like a couple of years ago when I took him at this week's Farmers Insurance Open, which I won and helped me win a lot of money in my golf league. He cheated, but I didn't care. He helped me. I will be indebted to Patrick Reed.
I'm with you. I love Patrick Reed. It's because he did so well at the Masters last year. He helped me win $9,000.
Exactly. We are selfish people.
And he looks like us. He's kind of, he's overweight. Yeah. He's kind of got, man boobs and everything. And he's a terrific golfer, that guy.
It's an unbelievable
golfer. He's a Masters champion.
He's a great golfer, and he belongs on the PGA Tour like Brooks Koepka and the rest of them. Here's what I don't understand. So these other live players now, they have it's 5 more days, I think. February 2nd is the deadline before they can come back. That's the returning member program. That's what the PGA threw out for them. They've got until that date to come back. Why, if you're DeChambeau and you're John Rahm and you are Cam Smith, why would you stay over there? What's the point? You already have got your money. Yeah, I mean, John Rahm got like $500 million. Well,
how are they getting out of that? What kind of a commitment did they make to live?
I don't know. I mean, maybe they just got to pay some of it back. Maybe there's something in their contract, what have you. But they've collected a lot of it already. They've already probably made more, in some cases, more money in the 3 short years they've been there than they maybe made on the tour, their entire PGA Tour career. So why would you stay over there anymore? What's the point? There is no point to it.
You know what I like too, Puck, is thinking about the PGA Tour with these guys coming back from live, and some of the guys being okay with it that are on the tour and others who aren't. And so it's controversial.
Oh, yeah.
And for anybody who thinks golf is boring, this is going to add a little spice and pizzazz to it.
Yeah. Well,
I think Rory's outspoken. He's not a big fan of it. I don't think he thinks that Koepka should have been more penalties. Is Rory okay with it?
No, I think Rory's okay with it. I think the one that you're seeing today from people is Hideki. Hideki Matsuyama is the one that is the most upset because reportedly turned down a lot of money from Liv, a lot, and was like, now we're just letting them all come back after they got all their money. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of players that are probably pissed off, but and this is just coming out too.
More tweets from Brandel Chambly.
Oh, Chambly. But this is why I love it, because Chambly, and I love him or hate him, is going to be on his freaking high horse all the time about how, why it's so bad they're back and the whitewashing and all. It's just I can't wait till Reed wins a tournament or they bring him up on stage so they can just yell at each other. Also, just coming out here like the last 30 seconds, Kevin Na, Hudson Swafford, they have just applied to be reinstated to the tour.
Boy, Kevin Na, he's a real game changer coming.
Yeah,
back
I don't care about. If what
I like about Kevin Na though is he's great when he makes a putt like a 6-footer, following it into the hole and grabbing it out right away.
If I were the PGA Tour, I actually would look at Kevin Na and Hudson Swafford and go, "We're good."
Yeah, I know.
That's what I would do. Honestly, I'd be like, "We're okay."
You're not going to move the ratings meter.
No one really wants to see you play, Kevin Na. You stand over your ball for about 15 minutes before then you hit it like a guy at a Muni who thinks they're going to carry water and get it on the green from 245. and they want to let the green clear. That's how you treat golf, and then you snap it into the woods. I actually saw him do that one time, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah, he actually was standing there forever, waiting for the green to clear, waiting, and then people are like, just hit, man. I don't think you're going to get there. He was pretty far back, and then he ends up hitting it in the woods. I'm like, yeah.
Don't you like the way he grabs the ball into the hole, though?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, if you're John Rahm, like the guy that I've always wanted to have come back, but is DJ. I love Dustin Johnson, but I think he is just like
he's checked out.
He is 100% checked out. 100%. He ain't never coming back. But yeah, but I love Rahm. I do. And I love and DeChambeau is great. DeChambeau is just another guy that's fun and all that. And I told this to Mitch, I'm going to tell it to you because my son turned me on to this because he's a huge golf fan now. Is his Breaking 50 YouTube show. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Go later today and go to YouTube to search Bryson DeChambeau, and he does this series of shows called Breaking 50, where he teams up with somebody else and they play a 2-man scramble, and they try to break 50. And they play it they play like the white tees too, so the most forward tees, and they try to break their score 50. He does one a few episodes ago with Steph Curry. You are going to be so surprised and probably angry of how good of a golfer Steph Curry is.
Oh, I've heard that. I think isn't he usually up there in Lake Tahoe at the celebrity tournament?
Yeah. I'm gonna make a bet that he's gonna find himself on the Champions Tour when he's done. He's that good.
Yeah. That'd be fun to see.
All right.
I know Champions Tour would love to have him.
All right, gotta go. I've kept Rob in the green room for far too long, and it's by
tell Rob I love him.
He loves you too. Loves you too. All right. He's like, Jesus, this Bump and Stacy don't make me wait this long.
Yeah, what is it, like 7 o'clock? Interrupting dinner for him over there.
Should we allow Rob to go over to our competition? I don't think we should. I think we should pay him more money. Be like, hey, enough is enough.
Yeah, he's with Bump and Stacy now.
Yeah, we allow him to do that. What are we doing?
I don't know. Well, Rob's such a good guy, though.
Yeah, he's an okay guy. We'll tolerate it for now. All right, I'll see you on Friday.
Okay, Puck, go Cougs.
Go Cougs. There he is. The go-to guy with us Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, brought to you by Clean Streak, also Angry Beaver and Brotherton Cadillac. All right, let's talk some football in the bloody trenches with Rob Staton, all brought to you by Georgetown Brewery.
Drink Georgetown Tavern Beer, your new locally brewed domestic-style lager. 4.2% alcohol. Cheap, good, local.
Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Rob Staton from SeahawksDraftBlog.com. Rob's on with us every single week talking Seahawks. You can follow him. Social media, Rob Staton. You can check out his YouTube page, Rob Staton Football. And again, SeahawksDraftBlog.com. Brought to you by Georgetown Brewery, makers of Manny's, Bodie's Offa, Rogers, and their new Tavern Beer. Tasting Room Beer Garden open daily from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Visit GeorgetownBeer.com with the Cougs hat on, celebrating all the great Cougs like Kyle Williams and Abe Lucas, who will be playing in the Super Bowl next week. All right, Rob. Well, they did it. They did. God, that was a fun game, man. You would have loved being there inside that stadium, man. It was simply electric. And I would assume that watching it at home in the wee hours of the morning, it was electric for you as well.
Yeah, it was a great experience to watch it at home, and it looked great. And I thought it was quite a stressful game to sit through at times, and that there was various points in the game where I thought they're not going to win this game. Like the Rams did look pretty good for large sections of that, but then there were also it was a real sort of ebb and flow type game, wasn't it? Because when they muffed the punt and they scored a touchdown immediately afterwards, I think they're going to win this game, and then they just sort of a 4-play drive for 75 yards, and I think, no, they're not going to win this game. But then they come back and get a touchdown to Cooper Kupp, and you think, no, maybe they are going to win the game. And it was like that all the way through, and just the perfect way to end Puck. To have just under 5 minutes to go in the game and not have to. You gave the ball back to Matthew Stafford with a miracle being required. Like to be able to run the clock out like that to finish that game off was just incredible. I think it takes some balls to do that. So. Yeah, they're there. Like it's surreal, isn't it? That 2 years since we first started talking about the Seahawks, and you used to get us on to complain about Pete Carroll, and 2 years later, here we are talking about the Super Bowl again.
Well, it's just amazing how quick it's happened, isn't it? It's mind-boggling how, and it's not like when they, in the last few years of Pete and all that they were like 4-12 or anything, and they weren't like rock bottom. I mean, they were there, playoff team, but they weren't completely starting over. But it is remarkable how quickly you make a change like that. And there were a lot of changes, a lot of personnel changes, a lot of player changes, and then of course the head coach and new system and new everything. And you probably didn't know if it was going to actually work out. You think it's going to work out. We don't know until you do it. And usually doesn't happen this quickly, Rob.
It doesn't. It's kind of an unprecedented season, really, isn't it? Because it's not just Seattle, of course. New England won 4 games last year and were a hot mess. And if you'd have said to Patriots fans, even more so than Seahawks fans at the start of the season, you're going to play in the Super Bowl this year, they'd have been saying, can I have some of whatever you're drinking? Because I don't believe you. So it's remarkable. I'm absolutely delighted that it's the Patriots. I have to say, if you could have asked me to pick an opponent, maybe short of the Arizona Cardinals or somebody like that, some of the realistic options, the Patriots for me are the ones that are, just to get a bit of closure. For me, some people won't care about that. I appreciate that. I also understand there will be some that do. For me, just being able to beat the Patriots in a Super Bowl would be perfect. And that's nothing against New England. I don't really have any sports hate for the Patriots, really. I never quite did. I think Belichick's an arse, but I always kind of respected Brady for what he achieved. But this is a very different team. Dare I say there's even a certain degree of likability about the Patriots in their current form. But I really want the Seahawks to win this so we can all draw a line under 11 years ago and have a new Super Bowl to talk about.
Will it be closure for you if they go out and win next week? I think for me, I'll answer it before you answer it, is that it will be a closure for me for like 5 minutes, but then I will revert back to thinking, son of a bitch, we should have beat him that other time though too. Like that the pain of that loss, I don't think for me will be made up if they beat them in a couple of weeks. You?
If they beat the Patriots in this Super Bowl, I will never, ever, ever fret again about that Super Bowl. Every time I see that interception, I'm just going to go, and like that in England is the middle finger. So I don't care.
The peace sign is?
Yeah. So over here, that is the middle finger. So that's
how do we get that the peace sign, which should be a universal sign of peace everywhere, how is that the middle finger over there?
Don't know. That's it. If you go to a sports game, you will often see because obviously you have home and road fans in English football. So there's always a sizable amount of road fans, and the two sets of fans will be going like that to each other. So and that does not mean peace.
Do they use the middle finger over there for anything?
Yeah, we do. We can vary it. You can do. So there was I'm gonna do this. I don't care. Okay. There was a newsreader for the BBC, a national, newsreader. So this was not a local thing. This was a national thing. And she did a pretty jokey countdown where she went.
Oh, I saw it. Yeah.
3, 2, 1. And obviously in England, that's 2 swear. And it went out on air. So,
yeah, I saw that. That was very funny. I did enjoy that. I did enjoy that very much. Well, I went through this. You probably have seen this maybe on social media. I went through this with Jim. Have you seen this tweet that this guy named Brandon Anderson put out?
I don't think so.
It's going through. I'm just going to show it to you so you can see it for yourself. It's going through New England's schedule.
Oh, I've seen this. Yeah,
you've seen this. All the fired coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, that is amazing when you break it down of the competition that they faced this year. Now, you can make an argument that Buffalo shouldn't have fired McDermott and all that. I mean, I get it. Or did Mike Tomlin get fired, or did Mike Tomlin leave on his own? Okay, we can play around with that. But I mean, that's kind of a remarkable tweet right there to see what the Patriots have gone through this year when you compare it to the gauntlet of the schedule that the Seahawks went through.
And also, there are plenty of Jets and Bengals fans who think that they should have fired HC next to their week as well. So it could even have been more. It is something that I think we have to acknowledge that the Patriots had by far the easiest strength of schedule during the season. Like many teams will have had a 0.5 strength of schedule. Most of them had a 0.4. The Patriots were the only team with a 0.3. So they did have a very easy strength of schedule. I don't know what that means for this game. Like, if you've got to the Super Bowl, you're a good team, aren't you?
Yeah,
like
that's right. You're right. Yeah.
But at the same time, it just doesn't it just feel like a very winnable game?
Well, I think, yeah, of course, and I don't like being so overly confident for a game. But I think what that shows you, what their strength of schedule shows you, with their actually the point differentials, they're pretty even on that. But it shows you that one team is more battle tested than the other. What Seattle had went through this year is more of a gauntlet and has strengthened them more than what New England went through. It's not to take away what New England did, but they've been more battle tested. And I think that's safe to say. Now, does that mean anything next week? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't, because it's one game. And in sports, if we've all seen in sports, upsets happen, crazy things happen. Ball bounces weird. Somebody gets hurt, somebody gets knocked out, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, it's just like what New England went through last week. I think Patriots fans would admit this. Had they faced Bo Nix, they're probably not winning the game, if Bo Nix is playing. So, I think that, you get a little bit of luck in these games, and weird things and spooky things happen that you don't anticipate. If it's just what we see right now on paper, on film, these are the two teams and all that, yes, I think they should be fine.
And the other thing that the Seahawks kind of have as an advantage, I'm not suggesting that New England can't have this happen for them as well, but the defense didn't play very well against the Rams. It was quite frustrating to watch the defense at times, and Stafford obviously played very well, as did Nakua again, and McVay by and large, called a good game, although he kind of let it slip towards the end. The defense didn't play very well. The offense elevates. We've seen games where the offense and the defense have been so-so in the first half, and then Rashid Shaheed returns a kickoff at the start of the second half against the Falcons. They end up winning by like 30 points in the end. So the Seahawks just have this great way of finding a way. Like, one unit will come together and pick up and elevate everybody else. Can I say something though, Puck? That this is an increasing thought that I've had over the last 24 hours. Is I want to be a little bit greedy here. Like, I want to. I don't want this to be a one-off. Okay, like I was having a look. Yeah, I was looking over the last 10 years since. Go back 11 years since the last time the Seahawks were in the NFC Championship game. And I noticed that the Niners have been in 4 NFC Championship games since that Seahawks-Green Bay game. And the Rams have now been in 3. And for the Seahawks and the Cardinals, it's 1 apiece. Now, I'm looking at this and thinking, I don't want this to be it. I don't want this to be the one shot. I don't want to win 1 Super Bowl and then just sort of say, okay, we don't have to worry about anything for the next 5 years. I want this Mike McDonald era to have 3 or 4 NFC Championship appearances in the same way that Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay have had over the next decade. And if they can do that, an opportunity to get back to the Super Bowl. The Niners have been in multiple Super Bowls since Seattle were last there. The Rams have been in 2. I do not want this to be a one and done.
And I, you know what? It's funny you bring that up. I think it was with, maybe it was with Jim on Monday. I don't know, but we talked about this. I mean, you can get really ahead of yourselves here real quickly. And that's what we're doing. And I don't care. It's not going to jinx anything. But you're right. You look at the age. What is Darnold? Is he 28 or 27?
I believe that he's 28, but I will double check for you now. He is, in fact, 28. He's 29 in June.
He hasn't even technically hit his prime as a quarterback yet. Really? They always got about like 30. You start to kind of hit that sweet spot. You look at Walker and the youth that they have there at the running back situation if they bring both those guys back. Obviously, certainly that's up for debate. Well, Charbonnet, yes, but for Walker, look at the offensive line. Not old. Mm-hmm. Start looking at just their roster in general. Where are the old players? I was trying to look up real quickly just kind of what the average age of their team is and where does it rank. I think if this is right, they are the 1, 3, 4, the 5th youngest team in football, I think, at the average age of 25, 25.7. I think that's right. I mean, so to your point, if they win it now, based on where they're at right now at the coach and where they're at with their players, and I don't get into the numbers in cap space, but I know I've seen it. I think they're going to have a lot of cap space as well to play around with. The way they've drafted these last few years, which allows them to kind of be in this mode right now of kind of cheap a little bit. Yeah, they may have a chance to do something that previous team couldn't do. Really kind of be here for a while.
And I was having a look. I mean, obviously the Senior Bowl is this week. I don't know if many Seahawks fans are aware of that.
Because you love the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, we've not needed to sort of spend much time as a fan base sort of considering the Senior Bowl this week. We have another bowl to concentrate on. But I was looking at that and thinking, no, this is it. Like, this is how you keep going. Like, where you do have some age, and that's DeMarcus Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Jaron Reed. You know, and it comes back to the name of the show, Puckett. It's the trenches again. Like, you know, for me, I'm watching these guys in the 1v1s. I was up till 3 a.m. studying the American conference yesterday. And when I've done this, I will put my daughter to bed, and then I will be straight back to watching day 2. It's to try and find, you know, the next great trenches player that you can get in the first 2 rounds here, and just keep loading up on those trenches so that you can come back and you can have the next one, you know, up and coming, to be able to do that. Because I think this is it now. Like, we have to sort of, there's a great chance here that you're not going to win every Super Bowl. You know, you may get back to one of these playoff games against the Rams and lose next time. That's distinctly possible. And you'd have to think they will have the bit between the teeth next year after coming so close this year. But it'd be nice to win this one and then to remain relevant and competitive and towards the top of the NFC and not fall away. And that's what I'm hoping for.
Were you surprised with how Darnold performed? I'm going to ask a 2-part question, which I always say, don't ask a 2-part question, but whatever. Surprised how he played, and then follow that up with how much do you think that performance is going to help him grow moving forward?
I was surprised. And I know that every time you say anything that isn't just Sam Darnold is the bestest ever, the comments to these videos are always filled with people going, oh, you don't like Sam Darnold. I mean, come on. I mean, I could not have more respect for Sam Darnold. I can't think of a quarterback I want to root for more. Like, his story, him as a person, it just seems like such an easy guy to want to pick up a Lombardi trophy in 2 weeks. So I'm desperate for him to do that. But I was surprised. Like, if you'd have said, what's the ingredients for a Seahawks win in this game? It was be better on defense than you were in week 16. Don't turn the ball over. Now, they've got the no turnovers, right? But the defense played just as bad, you know, sometimes perhaps even worse. And there was your quarterback standing in the pocket, getting smashed in the face or the chest with his oblique injury, just shooting missiles all over the field. You know, 3 touchdowns where he got leveled. After releasing the football, just one throw that you was even slightly nervy, and even then I'd not gone and checked. It didn't feel like a turnover worthy play to me. It just felt like a slightly dangerous pass. Brilliant, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
It was a surprise, and I'm
he
delighted.
was the reason they won.
He was the reason they won, and Klint Kubiak also, I think, deserves a lot of credit, and I do still fear that we will be seeing his last game as the Seahawks offensive coordinator in the Super Bowl.
It is interesting. When you're watching the game, I don't know how it works over there. Are you getting the Fox feed?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you had Brady then.
We had Brady. Yeah.
So I was at the game, so obviously didn't watch it, and I went back, a couple days later to watch it. And it really did feel like Brady was really gushing, did it not, over Klint Kubiak all game long, and him obviously being now an owner of the Raiders. And it just really feels like he's going to hire Klint Kubiak.
In our post-game stream, it wasn't the first thing we talked about, but it was probably like the third thing we talked about, that Klint Kubiak may well be the Raiders' next head coach, because it was relentless. Like, Brady was gushing. Like, I had this sort of feeling that in between commercial breaks, he was texting Mark Davis going, no, you don't need to worry about anything. I've got our guy. And earlier in the week, like Schefter was saying on Monday, like all the positions will be filled by Wednesday, and it's Wednesday today, and there's still the Cardinals and the Raiders to fill, and it's strange because there's not an obvious candidate now, unless the Raiders appointed Davis Webb. I'm not sure why you would do that if Klint Kubiak is available, and if you are the Raiders and you feel like you've got a route to get to Kubiak, you might as well just wait till after the Super Bowl now.
You know what I would say to him? And I think there was a report, and I'm not sure who reported this, and maybe you saw it, that the Seahawks are putting like a full court.
It was Tony Pauline, my good
Tony
friend.
Pauline. All right. So, yeah, your buddy Tony, but a full court press to keep him. Here's what I would pitch them. One, I would say, what's the money? What's the money they're going to pay you? I mean, they're a frugal organization, number one. Okay, so what can we pay you to keep you? Think about the organization you're going to. Yes, Brady's a part of it, but it's Mark Davis's team. You're going to go to a team without a quarterback. Who do you like? Do you like Francis? Do you like Mendoza? Maybe Kubiak looks at Mendoza and goes, I don't really see it. He's not my guy. I don't know. But you're going to a bad football team that is not a quarterback away from being good. And I would say, take the route that Ben Johnson took. Why don't you hold out, have this window with this team right now, and in the next year or two, there are going to be other jobs that open up, and maybe there's a job that opens up that already has an established quarterback, just like the Bears did with Caleb Williams, that you will slide into, and it will be more ready-made for you to have success than rather than going to what has been an absolute dumpster fire of an organization for 30 years.
There's a few things to consider here. I would also add to what you've just said there. The AFC West is not a great division to go to because you have to compete with Mahomes. The Broncos have been in the AFC Championship. The Chargers are a playoff team who've got Harbaugh. It's very difficult to you are going into a loaded division there. But here's sort of to play devil's advocate, this is what I would suggest. The coaching cycle of last year brought about some very interesting salary decisions by certain teams. So, for example, Aaron Glenn at the Jets is on approx $13 million a year, which is about $4 million a year more than Mike McDonald. So you did have some slightly desperate teams a year ago who didn't reset the market because Andy Reid's on 20 million, Sean Payton's on 18, John Harbaugh is now on, I think, 20 as well. He was on 17 with the Ravens. But they reset the market for first-time head coaches. So Mike Vrabel ended up getting 14 million. Ben Johnson ended up getting 13. So Klint Kubiak can realistically turn around to the Raiders and say, I want at least 13 to 14 million dollars a year. If you look at what an offensive coordinator, we don't know how much Klint Kubiak earns with the Seahawks, but Kellen Moore was, when he was with the Eagles last year, he was seen as quite an expensive offensive coordinator on $2.5 million a year. Chip Kelly was out in front on $6 million a year, obviously, and that didn't last very long with the Raiders, but nobody else was kind of getting that kind of money. So realistically, given that Klint Kubiak didn't have a ton of options 12 months ago, he possibly is on probably max about what Kellen Moore was on, maybe less. If we said he was on $2 million a year, just to pluck a figure out of thin air, 2 million versus 13, 14 million a year is massive, a massive difference. And for someone who has moved around teams year after year after year, when you become a head coach, it does give you an opportunity to put down some roots and to say, this is where we are going to be, hopefully for a long time, at least for sort of 3 or 4 years. And if not, then we'll get a massive whacking payout to be fired. So those are the things he may well financially would consider. But I would hope that what you've said is right, that the Seahawks can make that full court press that Tony's talking about, that they can make I think it would be well worth their while to pay him to stay and to give him a big, big contract and say, kick the can down the road for 12 months. But then the last thing I would say is Cliff Kingsbury did exactly the same thing a year ago. Like, he had elevated Jaden Daniels. They got to the NFC Championship game. There were a lot of teams interested. Yeah. He said, I'm going to stay. 12 months later, he was fired, and he's not getting looks for head coach anymore. So things can change pretty quickly, and he'll be
For
mindful
sure.
of that as well.
But I would, and then, you could also look at like what potential jobs could be open next year when you start looking ahead. All right, if I went through the NFC South, obviously nothing's happening with the Saints Falcons. Could the Buccaneers job be open? Could they go one more? Could they go one more year and go? All right, it's just not. We like them, but I don't know. 8-9 this year. We stumble again this year. We need someone more offensive minded to work with Baker Mayfield. All right, well, that'd be a good option. Look at the NFC North. I mean, I don't know. It was kind of up in the air with Matt LaFleur coming back to the Packers. It's kind of, well, he's going to get the extension. Not what's going on there. Maybe they have another, quote, disappointing year this year. Now, all of a sudden, you got to walk in to a situation where you get Jordan Love as your quarterback. You mentioned Washington. I don't know. Maybe, last year this was kind of fluke. You got, Jaden Daniels with the injuries, but now you get a healthy Jaden Daniels potentially. If they were to move on there from Dan Quinn. I'm looking at the AFC South, really nothing there. I don't think
I would say
Texans maybe.
The Colts coach and GM are on last chance saloon.
Sure. But is there a quarterback?
No. But a franchise that, in a division that you might think, well, why not? I'd also, I think you're absolutely right. Dan Quinn he needs to win next year. Yeah. The other team I'd throw out there, which could be quite interesting, not because of the franchise and the infrastructure, but certainly because of the personnel. How long Zach Taylor got with the Bengals? I was just going to bring him up. Exactly right. I don't know. I think maybe if they had another stumble this year that they may move on. We just talked about how a dumpster fire the Raiders have been. I mean, that one, they are the billboard of dumpster fire from an ownership group, but he walks in with a ready-made great quarterback. So maybe he could do different, but it'll be interesting. We can debate that in the off season. We got a slightly big game to look forward to coming up, which we'll go real deep dive into it next week, but it's great. It's an exciting time. I think that, to me, for Sam Darnold, what he got from this game last week is you've seen a lot of players in different sports kind of have a breakthrough. And he's had several kind of breakthroughs. He's played well in all big games, for the most part, games where they needed him to play well, right? End of the year for the number 1 seed, plays well enough. Didn't have to carry a team, but didn't do anything, turn the ball over. Divisional round, same thing. This was the game they needed him to win. And he hadn't had that yet with this team, or maybe really in his career, where the game was on his shoulders and he won it. I'm excited to see what that does for his confidence, even though he doesn't like to talk about this stuff, moving forward. Because sometimes when players have a breakthrough like that, it frees them and they go on a run. I think back to, it's not the exact same comparison but Matt Hasselbeck was left for dead in his career here in Seattle. I mean, it was getting borderline bust that the trade they made with Green Bay. They bring in Dilfer. He's the starter. Maybe we screwed up with Matt Hasselbeck. There's a game, and I'm trying to remember which one it is, and I can probably find it at some point. But he gets to be the starter again because Trent Dilfer goes down with an injury, if anyone can remember this. And Matt Hasselbeck has a game at the end of the year. He had been playing well, but he has a game at the end of the year in I want to say what season it is. It's probably maybe the 2002 season, I think. And at the end of the year, he has a game. I found it. It's the San Diego Chargers. Okay. And he lights them up. Hasselbeck that day. He goes 36 of 53 for 449 and 2 touchdowns. And it was at that moment where it was like this wow breakthrough moment. This was the guy that when they traded for was the quarterback that everyone expected to see. And then after that, that was the run. It was the next year, the playoffs, Super Bowl. And Matt Hasselbeck then he never was removed from the starting quarterback ever again. It was his job. I'm hopeful, but I think I got a feeling that this is what it's going to be for Sam Darnold. I think he's going to ball out in the Super Bowl, and then I think next year is just going to be a continuation of what we've seen here for the last 2 years. I think there's another good example that we could use here, and that is maybe the Baltimore Ravens in 2012, where the feeling was when they got to the postseason that the defense was going to have to lift them, and that Joe Flacco was going to have to be a supporting piece. And then in the AFC Championship game, they went on the road to the Broncos, and that was the explosive Peyton Manning offense that obviously the Seahawks beat a year later in the Super Bowl. And he went toe-to-toe with that offense, and he put up a whole bunch of points, and they needed him to produce, and he outgunned Peyton in the way that Sam Darnold had to outgun Matthew Stafford. And then he went to the Super Bowl and did it again and put up a whole bunch of points. And I just wonder whether this game could end up similar to that Ravens 49ers Super Bowl, in that maybe I can imagine a game script where the Seahawks go ahead and they're handsomely ahead. Hopefully Beyonce doesn't stop the lights working in the stadium at halftime like in that game. So there's that huge delay that they had in New Orleans. And then in the second half, the Niners gradually came back. It got a bit nervy. The Ravens held on. I just wonder whether you could imagine that. The Seahawks have had a few games, haven't they, where they've kind of gone ahead early on, and then the other team's kind of had a bit of a comeback, and it's got a bit nervy towards the end, but then they've finished the game. And I just wonder if that could be what happens in this game, and that, like Joe Flacco in that contest, Sam Darnold is the key factor.
Yeah, I'm not immune. I mean, I think we look at this matchup and say, well, I think Seattle should win and should be fairly easy. I think a lot of people feel that way, but I'm not immune to look back and go, 18-16 over Indianapolis. They had to go down to the wire against an old quarterback and squeak that one out. There's examples of games like that. I mean, Tampa Bay beat them. Now it was a different time, and Tampa Bay was kind of a different team then, and you weren't healthy and all that. But listen, you said it earlier. I think it's exactly right. New England's there for a reason. They are a likable team. Mike Vrabel's a good coach, and he's going to have something that maybe Seattle's never seen before defensively. And I think we can all agree, based on his background, the guy that he played for in Bill Belichick, the organization he played for, he is going to be prepared for the game. That team is going to be prepared for Seattle. And I think the difference will be ultimately is just the talent level is superior on Seattle's side. So
can I just say, I also think we should not underestimate beating the Rams twice. I know they were quite dramatic games and all that. The Rams are a hell of a team. That you've beaten a hell of a team then, maybe the best team. You've beat them twice, and you didn't just beat the Niners, who exceptionally well coached, were beating everybody. You hammered them twice. And let's remember that as we go into this Super Bowl, if you want a reason to be confident, 4 freaking wins against those two teams to get to the Super Bowl. That's a hell of an achievement.
All right, it was a long, extended visit with you. Thank you. Read all of Rob's work, SeahawksDraftBlog.com. His thoughts on the Senior Bowl. He's going to do his film study right now on it. Check out all the videos at Rob Staton Football on YouTube. Follow him on social media, Rob Staton. Thank you, Rob. We'll see you next week. There he is. Rob Staton with us, SeahawksDraftBlog.com. His weekly appearance, all brought to you by Georgetown Brewery. All right. We've got Hey What the Puck coming up. But first, as we always do, it is On This Day. Oh, but you know what? Hold on before that. I knew it. Before we get to On This Day, I'd like to promote some of the Puck's Posse bonus shows that we have for you this week. Tuesdays, we have the Sports Pit with Stretch. And then Wednesdays, today, it's out now, out this morning. We've got Inside Pitch with Ryan Divish of the Seattle Times, a couple of weeks away from the start of baseball and spring training. We spent a lot of time today on the show talking about Rick Rizz and his announcement on Tuesday that he was stepping aside after this season, and this will be his last year calling games for the Seattle Mariners.
Better ambassador. Like if you're sending, let's say Amazon, when they're not cutting all their employees, wanted to bring in somebody for the Mariners, is there a better guy to come in and sell your product than Rick Rizz? Like there is not a better ambassador for this team, for the organization. I just think, one, he should be in the team's Hall of Fame. And two, that's the role they should give him. Yeah. They should create the job of Ichiro's special counsel to the chairman.
Again, full episode with Ryan Divish, both video and audio, available for Puck's Posse members. Go to pucksports.com to sign up there. And again, on Tuesdays, we talk more about international signings, a couple of minor moves they made for a bullpen arm and a backup catcher, and a couple of key storylines he's looking forward to when he goes down there in a couple of weeks to start spring training. On Tuesdays, it's Sports Pit with Stretch. We talked about just a lot of things. I mean, primarily the whole thing we talked about was the Seahawks defeating the Rams and now getting ready for the Patriots, and is revenge on our minds against the Patriots in a few weeks.
For your own nerves.
Yeah,
you,
my
you
own
want it
nerves.
over at the start of the fourth quarter.
And it's never going to make up for 14. It's not going to make up for it because it never will.
No, that's another funny narrative.
I don't like that. We're going to get our revenge. There's no revenge. There's no one on the team anymore.
Yeah.
No one.
I can't say who this is because he listens to this. Well, now he just figured it out. But he's like, yeah, and we can get revenge from that game. And I didn't even want to argue the point. Like, there is no revenge. That's over, and that was heartbreaking.
It's never going to make me feel better if they win. I'm not going to feel better.
No. If we played New England 3 in a row. No, that was terrible. That was awful. That was just.
But I do want to pound it. It'll just make maybe slightly better for a few minutes. I don't know. Just
beat
kind of stomp them in the ground. I do want to stomp them in the ground. That would be great. And it would make me feel better for a few minutes, but would it make up for what happened in 14? For me, no. And leave a comment. Leave a comment in the comment section if it would make you feel better and make up for what happened in 14. All right, now we get to On This Day, which is now brought to you by our good friends at Hive Social. That's HYV Social, the official social meetup app for Puck Sports, made in Seattle by a proud graduate of the finest school in the history of schools in this country, in this world, Washington State University. Hive Social brings people together, sports people, all kinds of people, real life people as well. Download Hive Social on iOS and Google Play. That's HYV Social. It is free. You can connect with everyone, Puck's Posse members, and anyone who is on Hive Social. You're looking for people next week for the Super Bowl. You don't want to watch it at home. You want to go out and watch it someplace. But you don't know where people are going to be. Download the app today. It's the official Puck Sports social media meetup app. Hive Social, HYV Social. All right, on this day in the world of sports, 1960, NFL announcing the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings as the new franchises in the National Football League. Cowboys actually started that year. Vikings would start a year later. On this day in 1984, the great one. He's been in the news a lot lately. Wayne Gretzky, his record for his point scoring streak ends at 51 games. That is just remarkable. 1990, the 49ers in the Super Bowl hammer the Denver Broncos 55-10. Joe Montana was the MVP. I love that Super Bowl for a variety of reasons. One, I love seeing the Broncos get their asses kicked. Two, at our Super Bowl party that my parents put on every year, huge party, my dad, we had a tree fall through our house, which then my dad looked at and said, we'll deal with it later. And the party continued. 2001, finally, the Ravens throttled the Giants in the Super Bowl 34-7. Ray Lewis was the MVP. Happy birthday is going out on this day, January 27th or 28th, excuse me. Speaking of my father, I used to watch this show all the time, by the way, the reruns on Channel 11. Alan Alda turns 90 today. Of course, best known for his role as Hawkeye Pierce in MASH. Golfer Nick Price is 69 today. And finally, former Seattle Sonics big man, one of the best. 44 in your program, number one in your heart. Michael Cage is 63. Played 7 seasons with the Sonics. 4th pick in the NBA draft coming out of the University of San Diego, going to the Clippers. That is on this day, brought to you by Hive Social. That's HYV Social. Download the social meetup app, the official social meetup app for Puck Sports on the iOS and Android store today. It's a perfect spot to find out what everyone is doing and be a part of a larger group, especially with coming out with the Super Bowl next week. Find out where people are watching the game. That is Hive Social, HYV Social. All right, we wrap up the show with Hey, What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One. They're going to help you. Any damages to your commercial or residential property, Restoration is your spot. That's going to help you avoid the stress of any damage, whether it's water, fire, mold, what have you. They're going to take care of you from top to bottom. Restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Happy and sad at the same time, for Rick Rizz. He's been the voice of my baseball fandom for 40 of the 50 years that I've been on this planet. He's the one that's been calling all the games, along with Dave Niehaus. He's been in my ear. I've said this many times. I prefer the radio over TV. I'll sit outside during the summer. I don't even have the game on. I just listen to it. I just enjoy it more. Besides being a terrific broadcaster, as we said earlier, he is simply one of the nicest people that I've ever met. Always welcomes you with a smile, an embrace, never down, always excited to watch and call baseball games. No one puts more enthusiasm into a spring training game or any game than Rick Rizz, and what he's done in this community just as impactful. Hat tip to Rick Rizz. Great years of calling games for the Mariners. And hopefully this final year for him will be a great one, and will end with them with a parade and a World Series trophy and everything, because Rick Rizz deserves it. Again, that's Hey What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One. Visit restoration1.com, North Seattle franchise. All right. Thank you for everyone watching and listening to today's show. Thank you to all our sponsors: Lindback Lumber, Georgetown Brewery, Restoration One, Hive Social, Flat Stick Pub. Thank you to gym sponsors on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays: Brotherton Cadillac and Angry Beaver. Also Clean Streak. Find today's Daily Punch Up on your favorite on YouTube. And when you're there, please subscribe to the channel. You may watch it all the time and not be a subscriber. It helps. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Leave comments. Try to get to as many as we possibly can. Also, find the Daily Punch Up on your favorite podcast platforms, Apple and Spotify, in whatever one that you listen to. They're all there. Also, find our content up at pucksports.com. When you're there, sign up to become a Pucks Posse member. It's a way to support everything we do here daily, the Daily Puck Drop, Monday through Friday. Plus, we give you bonus shows throughout the week. Tuesdays with Stretch. Wednesdays, Inside Pitch with Ryan Divish. Thursdays, KJ Arntz with Mitch Levy. And we now produce the Graz with Gas Take 5 podcast. It comes out every single Monday on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Again, Ryan Divish is out right now. Go check it out. A full episode with Divish up there for Posse members. Go to pucksports.com to sign up if you're not a member. All right. We'll see you. God, we've already made it through the week. Almost. No, tomorrow, Thursday. KJ Arntz with Mitch and Mike Garofolo of the NFL Network. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll try. I'll promise to be better.
No shoes, no ties.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you, but you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for? We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!